Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. I am doing something very different right now. We've just had the Lunar New Year. So I thought, let's have a look at what the year can bring using the runes. So this is going to be using the carnelian set because they're red, and I'm doing it on a red background because that's lucky. So here we go. This is going to be a general reading for the world for the next lunar year. So what I'm doing now is I'm throwing down the initial 5 runes. The first one is going to be the central issue. And then we're going to see what led up to this, what isn't helping, what is going to be helping, and what the next step is going to be. As I mentioned in a previous video, runes generally are really, really good at providing a snapshot of situations as they are, like what is. They're not really fortune telling in terms of future. However, when you do a full Futhark rune spread, it does tend to give you about a year's worth of steps. So let's start with this. Central issue right now, we have Fehu reversed. Fehu is the rune of wealth. It's cattle. In the old days, your cattle was your wealth. Your cattle were your wealth. I don't know which to use, actually. Anyway, cows. They're wealth, but they're also wealth you tend. It's not just wealth you stick in a closet. You have to take care of it for it to be your wealth, and it is reversed in this case. What I'm going to read this as, some people are going to be having trouble with money. Maybe they're worried about money. Maybe they're worried about their wealth, but also worth. People are having questions about their worth, but also about people becoming more confident. The question is, how can I become more confident? Leading up to this, there has been a long period of time of patience. As we all know, we've just been going through a pandemic. We're still in it. This is Ivaz. Ivaz is the horse. And there he is. This is Ivaz. It's the yew tree rune. It has to do with patience and slow growth. So we have definitely been going through a period of time where we've had to be very patient and just dealing with the slow development of things. We're here now where some of us are worried about money, some of us are worried about our personal worth. Maybe we haven't had the work that we've wanted. Maybe we have been feeling feelings of worthlessness. And some of us are wondering, how can I become more confident, but also worried about our money and our funds and things. What is going to help at this point is there are breakthroughs. This is Hagalaz. It's the rune of the breakthrough of the day and of the dawn. It's revelations, it's inarguable truths, and there are breakthroughs, and this seems to be very positive. This is on the positive line. So this is actually what's helping us get carried forward through all of this. What isn't helping is represented here by Ivaz. Ivaz is the horse rune, and the horse rune generally has to do with spirituality, but also movement, and it is reversed here on the negative line. So it definitely seems to be talking about what's dragging us down is that we just can't move. Like we used to travel, we used to be able to even just go visit our friends and family, and now we're stuck. We're sort of on our backs with our feet in the air going, I wish I could move. Let this carry you forward. Let the revelations that are happening carry you forward. I am actually going to draw a couple more runes just to clarify this one line where we are. Okay, yeah, exactly. What we're missing the most and why we are sad about not moving to the extent that we are, where it's actually dragging us down, is we miss communication. This is Ansu's. It's the rune of communication and manifestation, but also just basically being able to communicate. And this is not happening, and we're worried about that. We miss it, and it's dragging us down. It's making our spirits lower than they should be. If this starts to be something that's really dragging us down, remember, there are revelations every day. There are breakthroughs every day. And this is, and here's Rye though, the riding rune, the journey rune. This is actually carrying us forward. If we let just knowing that everything is continuing to develop and we are having these breakthroughs every day, this does carry us forward. And if we let it, it can do that. Now the next step is actually probably going to be worrisome for some. We have Hagalaz, which is the hailstorm rune. It has to do with chaos, the uncontrolled uncontrollables, and it's basically, there's going to be a period of time where things are going to be very chaotic. It's going to feel like, like we're weathering a storm, which we basically kind of are, and some people very literally. I'm going to lay down a few more to get us past this step. There's always a past the step. What's going to help here is, I actually want to clarify this line as well. We have Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the fire. It's the torch. And, sorry, it's a bit of a splatter, so not the clearest Yira I've ever seen. Okay, so what's going to help is we have Yira. Yira is the rune of the year. It's the rune of time. It's the rune of the harvest. And we are seeing, that this is sort of like timed events. We are seeing that this has a timeline, even though when you're in the middle of it, it feels like it's not moving. It does. Things are progressing in a season-like way. It also, based on these revelations and the journey that we're being carried forward en masse with, we are seeing the fruits of these labors. So this is really, really good. What helps us immediately in this state of sort of chaos is opening up to this. Just try to open up to the very positive things that are happening. There's going to be so much misery and feelings of helplessness that you're going to basically be very tempted to let this all drag you down. Please try to focus at this point and try to open up at this point to the good that is happening, because there is good happening. It may be drowned out by Vunyo reversed here, which is the joy rune reversed in the negative line, which is dragging you down. And also we have Berkana. It's the rune of birth. It also has to do with family. It also has to do with yin identity. I'm going to read this extremely negatively and say it as where it's a passive rather than an active, yin being yin and not yang, where you're feeling like things are happening to you and that you're very unhappy based on the chaos that's happening. Understandable. If this starts to be the case, though, try to remember to open up to the good that's happening, because this is not like toxic positivity kind of thing, but it's like there is good happening. Please turn your attention on that, fill your eyes with it, overwhelm the venom with it. Try things like writing down what you're grateful for, just 5 things you're grateful for, and you'll find that the more things you write down that you're grateful for, the more you will think of that you're grateful for, and this helps to overwhelm the venom of the things that drag you down. Again, not advocating for toxic positivity at all. Acknowledge the things that are upsetting, but try to remind yourself, if these things are dragging you down, that there are also good things happening. So your next step on the path is looking pretty good. We have Manas, that's the rune of humanity, and it looks like you've come through the storm and you're rejoining humanity. We are, as a people. As a humanity, we are rejoining humanity at this step. So it's not going to be that much longer until we are able to be more or less coming back into being a part of humanity together, which would be wonderful. Laying out the next step on the path line and the other lines as well. There it is. My ing vase isn't sitting very steadily. Okay, so here we are after we've weathered the storm. Here we are facing each other again in joy. We are back with each other, which is great. What helps here is the fact that we are more than ready to cross this threshold. This is Thurizaz. It's the challenge rune. It's thorn. It's giant. It's a gateway. So, and it is open. It's upright. So we are more than willing to pass through this gateway. We're very happy to do so. And we're ready to get on with things. This is Tifaz. It's Tyr's rune. Tyr's a warrior god. Has to do with duty and responsibility. We are more than ready to do this. We're more than ready to pick up and be a part of things again and to cross the threshold and be back in life and living and enjoying things. What isn't helping at this step is we're worried about support. We're worried about protection. This is Algi's. It's the moose. It's the elk. It's the rune of protection and support. It is in the lower line. When a very positive rune's in the lower line, it often has to do with worries about that thing. And it is not reversed. So it's basically we're worried about support, protection. We're worried this kind of thing might even happen again. So that's sort of That's always going to be on everybody's minds now since we've lived through it. What doesn't help is it's very emotionally based. This is Lagos, it's the lake, it has to do with all the watery, emotionally kind of things. It's heart, intuition, and all that. It is reversed, and it's on the very negative line. So it does sort of say, we're always going to have that at the back of our mind. Could this happen again, or something worse? And we're worried about that to a certain extent. It's emotional. It's tied to our worries about protection. If that happens, just remember how happy we are. We are going to move past this. We're going to go across this threshold. We're going to pick up and do things. And here we are. Next step. Here we are picking up and doing things. This is Ingvaz. Is another name for Frey. Frey is the fertility god, and the rune has to do with active creation, active, just getting in there and creating something and making something happen, and sort of just let's build our new reality. So we have a few more runes. There's Uruz. I was wondering when he would show up. Ooh, that is a very pretty blank rune. So what will help at this point when we're back in with humanity? So this is lovely because this means that basically collectively within the year, we're going to be coming closer to being more along the lines of, yay, we're almost back to normal, but not really. I mean, I can't see it, but maybe that's because I'm thinking down here. It does look really good because this is not even the whole year yet, and we're already back and just rebuilding. What helps here when we're rebuilding is we have Nauthiz. Nauthiz is the need rune. It's basically the need fire, the 2 sticks that you're using to make fire. Basically, we're tending our needs first. The first thing we're going to do when we get back into rebuilding things is let's see where need was discovered and let's tend that. Let's make sure that that's good. And that's really going to drive us. That's really going to help. What isn't going to help is we have Uruz, it's the Aurochs, it's the Wild Ox. It has to do with strength and health. And yes, we are still worried about that. It's definitely going to be a worry because now that we've lived through it, we know how quickly it can happen. But also I see a bit of stubbornness here. Stubbornness, perhaps, let's see what the stubbornness is about, actually. Okay. We don't want to leave home. There's a lot of good things about being at home, and this is Othala. This is the homeland rune. It is reversed. So there's an element of stubbornness to sort of go back into things with some of us, and I know I'm probably going to be right up there going, yeah, but it's nice not having to commute. As well, it's a change. Every change is difficult, even a change from something that we did not like while we had to do it. If you were stuck at home, you wanted to be out, you wanted to be doing things. But now that you've been stuck at home for a really long time, you're used to it, you might not want to go back to commuting and going out and being in crowds and things. And I totally understand that. But honestly, let's get on with things, So if this is starting to drag you down, this is like a message for me too. Just drag yourself back up and say, well, look, I'm really excited to get back to things. Let's tend our needs. This is Pertho. Pertho is helping in this case because Pertho is the lot box. It's revealing what was already there. And in this case, it's sort of saying, okay, what did we not realize before all of this started? But now it's been revealed to us that we need to deal with. And this is a need, and we need to tend it at this point. At this point, now that we can go up on the roof and fix the roof, we're going to go up and fix the roof. And that's actually really, really going to help at this point. Our next step is really, it's new ground. We've never, most of us, been in this situation before, and nobody's been in this situation before in a lot of ways. I mean, yes, there have been pandemics in the past, but this is the first one in memory that we generally have experienced. So this is new. This is all new ground. What's going to help here is, I'm going to read this a few ways. This is Gabo. It's the rune of the gift. It's the rune of the exchange. Sometimes it has to do with one-on-one relationships, and it's going to be all of this. We're going to decide, first of all, this is something that we're going to decide we're going to make good. We're going to have very strong decisions about what we're going to make out of this new world. At the same time, we're going to be connecting very more appreciatively one-on-one with our friends and family, which is great. What's not going to help is, this is Sovilo. Is this Sovilo? Wait a minute. Didn't I see a weird Sovilo? No, I thought this was what I thought was Sovilo in a weird smudgy way, but it was actually Yira. Sovilo, which is this rune of the sun. We're worried about our energy. We're worried about our source energy. It sort of ties in with all of this, where we're worried about support, we're worried about our strength, we're worried about our health. And at this point, we know what we want to do. We're worried that we don't have the energy to do it, but we do. We do. It's there. We're going to do the best we can. We're going to work with each other. We're going to have our decisions of what we want to be doing and get past this brand new ground. What the last rune in this reading is, which is going to take us to the end of the lunar year and into Rat Ox Tiger. So take us into the tiger. At that point, we're going to have feelings of stillness, feelings of clarity. This is Isa. It's ice. Maybe it's going to be a very cold winter. I don't know. Next winter. I'm sure this winter is cold too. Winters tend to be. But this is Isa. And it looks like there's a stoppage of something at this point. Based on the path, which is very positive. We've been very, very patient up to this point. We're worried about wealth and worth at this point right now. We're going to go through a stormy passage. There's still going to be some chaos ahead of us, but not long after that, we're going to be rejoining each other. We're going to be reconnecting with humanity. We're going to start rebuilding things better, which is great. There's going to be really new ground. It's going to be very exciting. And then there's going to be a Isa moment, which is ice, stillness, standstill, clarity. I'm going for clarity. I'm going to say, okay, well, we've had this, and we can actually, there may be things that we can put a stop to at this point that were bothering us to this point. I'm really curious. I would love to throw down some more runes to see what's next after this. But this is your year. I'm really curious. So I'm going to cheat. Well, I'm not cheating. None of this is cheating. I have the amethyst runes with me, so let's have a peek. Oh my gosh. Okay. We have things have stopped, followed by things have stopped. And backed up by what isn't going to help is continuing. So it looks like maybe this is saying all the troubles that we've been dealing with have basically frozen at this point. That would be great. I don't want to think of anything really negative for a year from now as a cliffhanger. So let's go with it's the end of a thing. It's the end of a thing that has been, it's the end of a passage. And as we go into the tiger, at the end of the ox, things seem to be starting fresh, which is cool. So I wish you a very happy Lunar New Year. Well, we've just had it, but as we progress through the year, this will probably take place over the course of the year, so be sure to check back and see where we are on the map. And I wish you a lovely, lovely day, evening, or weekend. Take care.